God's message for you today. There is a moment just before dawn breaks when the darkness is at its absolute thickest. Not the darkness of early evening, not the soft dimness of midnight, but the particular, dense, pressurized darkness that comes in the final minutes before light tears it open. Farmers know it. Sailors know it. Anyone who has ever sat through a long, difficult night waiting for morning to come knows it. It is the darkness that feels like it is winning. The darkness that seems to have no intention of lifting. The darkness that makes you wonder, for the first time seriously, whether the sun is actually coming at all. And then, without announcement, without permission, without waiting for you to feel ready, light. Not gradually, not timidly, suddenly, completely, and with a force that makes the preceding darkness seem like it never had a chance. My child, that is exactly where you are standing right now. Not at the beginning of the dark night. Not in the comfortable middle of it, where you still had the energy of fresh faith to sustain you. You are standing in the final, densest, most pressurized moments just before the light breaks. The darkness feels thicker right now not because it is winning, but because it is ending. And endings always press hardest in the final moments before they release. What you have been interpreting as the weight of a delay that has no finish line is actually the pressure of a breakthrough that is seconds away from detonating. I am not exaggerating. I am not using poetic language to comfort you without substance behind it. I am speaking with the precision of the God who controls time itself, who sees the end from the beginning, who is already standing in the moment you are still believing toward. And from where I stand, I am telling you, the night is over. The delay has ended. The shift is not coming. It is already here. You just have not felt it break the surface yet. But you will. And everything I am about to say to you is preparation for what you are about to walk into. Say amen if you believe the breakthrough you have been waiting for is closer than it has ever been. My precious child, before I tell you what is ahead, I need to address what is behind. Because you cannot fully receive the gift of what is coming without first releasing the weight of what the waiting produced in you. The delay was real. I will not minimize it, will not spiritualize it into something painless, will not tell you it was easy when I watched every day of it, and I know it was not. The delay cost you something. It cost you energy you spent in expectation that was not yet fulfilled. It cost you explanations you had to give to people who watch your faith and quietly wonder what was taking so long. It cost you the slow erosion of a certainty that was once loud and clear inside you and became, over time, a quieter and more fragile thing than it used to be. It cost you comparisons you tried not to make, but made anyway, looking at the speed of someone else's answer and feeling the silent sting of the contrast. It cost you sleep. It cost you peace on certain days. And on some of the hardest days, it cost you the effortless trust of a heart that had not yet learned what a long wait feels like from the inside. I know all of it. I watched all of it. And I want you to hear this clearly. The delay was not my indifference to your pain. It was never that. Not for a single day. Not for a single hour inside those days. What looked from your side like silence was, from mine, the most concentrated season of preparation your destiny has ever required. There are things I built in you during the delay that I could not have built any other way. There's a depth of root system in your spirit now that only develops under the pressure of sustained, prolonged waiting. There's a quality of tenacity that now lives in you that was not there before the waiting began. Because tenacity is not a character trait you can receive as a gift. It is a character trait that is forged by being stretched past what you thought you could endure and discovering that you did not break. You are more resilient than you were when the season began. More grounded, more perceptive, more dependent on me in ways that are not performative but genuinely, structurally true. The delay built what the breakthrough is about to require. And the fact that you're still here, still reading, still listening, still believing even after everything the waiting cost you, that is the evidence that the building worked. I need you to hear what I am saying with complete clarity. The delay is over. Not almost over. Not winding down gradually in a way you will barely notice. Over. The season you have been living in has reached its appointed conclusion. The chapter that required the waiting is closing. The page is turning not because you finally said or did the right thing to earn the turn, but because I determined before time began that this was the moment the turn was written for. I am a God of appointed times. Every season I design has a start and it has a finish. No season I ordain goes on indefinitely. Even the longest winters of my economy have a final day, and the final day of this one has arrived. You could not see it coming because you were inside it, but I was looking at it from outside of time, and from that vantage point, I have been watching this moment approach with the certainty of someone who knows exactly what they wrote and exactly when they wrote it to happen. The shift that is coming is not a minor adjustment. I need you to release the habit of thinking small about what I am doing, because the delay trained you to protect yourself from the pain of large expectations unfulfilled. I understand why you developed that protection, but that protection is now a limitation. What I am releasing into your life in this new season is not going to fit inside the carefully managed, disappointment-proof container you built during the waiting. It is going to be larger than that container. It is going to require you to expand. It is going to ask you to hope at a scale you have not permitted yourself to hope at in a long time. And I am asking you right now, before the evidence arrives, to begin expanding. Begin letting the boundaries of your expectations stretch open. Begin making room in your spirit for something bigger than what you have been cautiously allowing yourself to believe for. Because what is coming deserves to be received by a heart that has made room for it, not a heart that is still braced for disappointment.
My beloved, let me speak to you about the nature of this shift, because the word shift can feel abstract until it is made specific. So let me be specific. The shift I am speaking of is not just one thing changing in one area of your life. It is a comprehensive, multi-layered movement of my hand that touches every dimension of what you have been believing for simultaneously. I do not operate in isolated, disconnected adjustments. When I shift the whole. When I move in ways that echo across every part of what I have been preparing. In the area of your finances, the shift means that the cycle of barely enough is breaking. The perpetual experience of resources leaving as fast as they arrive, of needs perpetually exceeding supply, of the gap between where you are and where you need to be feeling permanent. That cycle is ending. I am Jehovah Jireh, not just the God who provides minimally at the last moment, but the God who provides abundantly, strategically, and in ways that position you not just to survive but to become a conduit of my provision for others. The financial shift that is coming is not just about meeting your immediate needs. It is about repositioning you in an entirely different relationship with resources. Streams are opening that have been closed. Doors are swinging wide in places where you have knocked without answer for longer than you want to remember. The numbers are about to begin telling a different story. And when they do, remember this moment, remember this word, and give me the credit publicly that I deserve privately. Comment, Jehovah Jireh, I trust you, if you are standing in faith for a financial breakthrough right now. In the area of your health, the shift means that the body I formed with my own hands is coming into a new season of restoration. I see every physical struggle you have carried through this waiting season. Every symptom that has persisted. Every report that has been less than what you prayed for. Every morning you woke up and noticed before anything else that something in your body was still not right. I formed you. I know every cell. Every system. Every place where the enemy has tried to establish a foothold in your physical frame. And I am declaring a shift. Not a shift contingent on a particular medical intervention, though I work through those too. A shift that begins in the unseen and manifests in the seen. A shift that the cells of your body are already responding to even as I speak this word into your spirit. The healing I have ordained for you is not a healing that manages your condition. It is a healing that transforms your testimony. Hold on. What I am doing in your body will be undeniable. In the area of your relationships, the shift means that the loneliness and relational pain of the waiting season is giving way to something altogether different. The people who are assigned to your next season are not the same as the ones who populated your last one. Some of the most significant, life-altering, destiny-shaping connections of your entire life are about to enter your world in this new season. They are not distant. They are already moving toward you, already being positioned, already carrying the portion of your purpose that you cannot access alone. I am ending the season of isolation. I am ending the season of misaligned, draining, one-sided relationships that left you emptier than they found you. The new connections arriving in this season carry reciprocity and covenant and a depth of genuine understanding that you stopped believing you would ever find. Do not be closed when they arrive. Do not protect yourself so thoroughly that you miss them. The discernment you have developed in the waiting will help you recognize them. Trust it. In the area of your purpose and calling, the shift means that the things you have felt building inside you for years, the gifts that have been developing in the pressure of the waiting season, the message that has been forming in the furnace of your suffering, are ready for release. The clarity you have been seeking about your direction is coming. The doors that seemed permanently sealed to the expression of what I placed inside you are about to open in ways that are unmistakable. You will not have to force your way into this. You will not have to manufacture an opportunity or position yourself through striving. I will open the platform. I will direct the steps. I will bring the people who need what you carry directly into contact with you at the precise moment they need it most. The waiting was, in part, because what you carry needed more time in the deep before it could be effective at the surface. That time is complete. What is inside you is ready to emerge. And the world I am about to place you in front of is ready to receive it. Please support our channel, because everything created here is built around one singular purpose: to reach the person who is in the middle of the hardest season of their faith and remind them that God has not moved, has not forgotten, and has not changed his mind. If these words have been that reminder for you today, please consider supporting our work through the Super Thanks button below. And if you are not yet subscribed, this is your invitation to join a community that gathers around the faithful, unchanging Word of God. Now, my child, I must speak to you about the enemy's response to the shift, because he is aware of the shift too. He has watched the same timeline I have been watching, and he knows that the season he was allowed to operate in is concluding. That knowledge makes him dangerous in a specific way in these final transitional days. He will not go quietly. He will not release his assignment against you without a final, concentrated effort to derail what he can no longer prevent. Understand his strategy so you are not caught off guard by it. His first strategy in this transition moment is intensification. He will attempt to make the final moments of the delay feel more severe than any point before them. He will engineer circumstances designed to make you conclude that things are getting worse rather than better, hoping that the intensification will cause you to release your faith at the precise moment it is most needed. Do not be moved by intensification. The darkest moment is not evidence of a worsening situation. It is evidence of a dawn that is seconds away. When things feel most intense, that is not your signal to let go. That is your signal to hold tighter than you have ever held. His second strategy is distraction. He knows that entering a new season with your attention fully surrendered to me is the most dangerous thing he can face. So he will flood your days with noise, with petty concerns, with social media rabbit holes, with relationships that drain rather than nourish, with the endless tyranny of urgent but unimportant things, all designed to keep you so occupied with the surface of life that you never go deep enough to receive what I am releasing into your spirit for the season ahead. Do not let him steal your depth. Guard your quiet. Protect the time you spend in my presence as though your next season depends on it, because it does. His third strategy is accusation. As the shift approaches, he will remind you of everything that disqualifies you. He will replay your failures loudly. He will list your inconsistencies. He will point to the gap between who you are and who you feel a breakthrough of this magnitude should go to. He will whisper that someone more faithful, more obedient, more spiritually disciplined deserves what is coming and that you receiving it would be an error of divine judgment. My child, reject that lie with everything in you. The shift that is coming is not being released because you earned it. It is being released because I promised it. My promises are not performance-based rewards. They are covenant commitments made by a God who does not revoke what he has spoken. Your qualifications for receiving my blessing are not found in your track record. They are found in my character. I am faithful. That is why the shift is coming. Not because you were perfect in the waiting. Because I am perfect in my faithfulness. Type, I am not disqualified. I am chosen, if you are rejecting the enemy's accusation right now. My beloved, as we move toward the closing of this word, I want to speak to the person inside you who is equal parts hopeful and terrified of being hopeful. The one who has started to believe during the reading of this message and is simultaneously protecting themselves from the belief in case it proves unfounded. I see that person. I understand that person. That particular mixture of wanting desperately to trust and being afraid of what full trust might cost is one of the most human, most real, most honest spiritual postures there is. And I do not condemn it. I do not dismiss it. I speak directly into it. Here is what I want to say to the part of you that is afraid to fully hope. The fear of disappointment is understandable, but it is not wisdom. It feels like wisdom. It presents itself as the mature, measured alternative to naive enthusiasm. But what it actually is self-protection operating in the place where faith is supposed to live. And self-protection, while understandable in a human who has been hurt, does not open doors. It does not receive what I am pouring out. It stands at the edge of the river with cupped hands that are only half open, collecting only a fraction of the flood. I am not asking you to perform an emotion you do not feel. I am asking you to make a choice that your feelings will eventually catch up to. The choice is this: I will believe what God said over what my fear suggests. I will open my hands all the way. I will let the hope rise without immediately managing it. I will receive the shift, not with guarded optimism, but with the full, expectant, open-hearted faith of someone who has decided that God is trustworthy even when trust is the more uncomfortable option. That choice, made right now in the quiet of this moment, is one of the most powerful things you will do today. Heaven registers it. I receive it as worship, and it creates an atmosphere in your spirit through which the shift can move without obstruction. Now let me give you something practical to carry out of this message. Something specific and actionable that translates this word from an experience into a lifestyle. Because a shift from the inside of heaven requires a corresponding posture from you on the earth. Here is what I am asking. First, speak the shift before you see it. Begin declaring out loud, today and every day from this moment forward, that the delay is over and the shift is here. Not as a ritual without meaning, but as a genuine, faith-filled declaration of agreement with what I have spoken. Your words carry creative power when they align with my word. When you speak the shift into existence over your own situation, you are partnering with me in the manifestation of what I have already authorized. Second, make a practical act of preparation. Do something in the natural realm that demonstrates you are taking the shift seriously. If the shift includes financial breakthrough, begin the budget you were waiting to make until things changed. If it includes restored health, make the appointment you have been postponing. If it includes purpose and calling, take one step, even a small one, toward the thing I placed in you that has been waiting for the right time. Acting in faith before the full evidence arrives sends a signal to heaven that you have received the word and you are moving in alignment with it. Third, tell someone. Not to perform your faith publicly, but because declaring what you are believing releases something in you that private faith alone does not fully release. There is an accountability and a vulnerability in saying out loud to another person, I believe God is shifting my situation, that deepens the root of the faith you are choosing. Find the person in your life who will agree with you in prayer and tell them what you heard today. Let them stand with you in the anticipation of what is coming. Agreement is powerful. Where 2 or 3 gather in my name, I am in the midst of it. Let someone stand with you in the middle of this. My beloved, I want to close by speaking to the length of the delay one final time. Because I know that for some of you, the waiting has been years. Not months. Not a season that can be counted in weeks. Years. Deep, long, stretching years during which the same prayer has been prayed and the same promise has been carried and the same hope has been chosen again and again through circumstances that offered every rational reason to abandon it. If that is you, I need you to know something. The length of your waiting is not evidence of my distance from you. It is evidence of the magnitude of what I am bringing. I do not make people wait years for something small. I do not allow a long preparation season to produce a modest answer. When the delay has been deep and the waiting has been long and the cost of holding on has been high, what I am releasing on the other side of it is proportional to everything it required of you to remain in faith. You have not waited this long for a small shift. You have waited this long for a transformation. For a reversal so complete that everyone who watched the waiting will be silenced by the witnessing of the answer. For a testimony so undeniable that it requires no embellishment, no exaggeration, no careful presentation. It will speak entirely for itself. That is what is coming for you. Not because you deserve the grand version more than someone whose wait was shorter, but because I, in my sovereign wisdom and my perfect love, wrote your story with a long act and a magnificent finale. And the curtain is rising right now. I need you to do one thing in response to everything I have spoken today. I need you to make a decision that the waiting posture ends here. The posture of hoping carefully, expecting guardedly, trusting with one hand while holding the door open for disappointment with the other, that posture ends with this message. From this word forward, you stand in the posture of someone who has received a decree from their God, who has heard with spiritual ears the declaration that the season has shifted, and who has chosen, fully, without reservation, without the safety net of managed expectations, to believe it. That posture is not ignorance of your circumstances. You still see them clearly. That posture is the deliberate choice to see your God more clearly than you see your circumstances. To measure what is possible not by what is currently visible but by who is currently working. To walk forward not in the confidence of someone who has everything figured out but in the confidence of someone who knows the one who does. The delay is over. The shift is here. The darkness of the long night is giving way to the light that has been building at the horizon the entire time you were enduring it. Rise, my beloved. The morning has come. And it has come for you. Type Amen and declare, "My shift is here," in the comments if you are receiving this word today and choosing to walk forward in the faith that the delay is finished. And share this message with every person in your life who has been waiting on God longer than they expected to wait. They need to hear that the night is not endless. Morning is breaking. Right now. For them too.